It's time for story time. This was one of my clients that I had, and I when I first started a consultation with him, I said the very first thing that came out of my mouth was, "Who did you kill?" And he looked at me. He's like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, who did you kill?" And he's like, "I I didn't kill anybody." And I'm like, "Yes, you did. Who did you kill?" And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about." I go, "No, you do. Just remember." And he's just like looked at me like, "No, I didn't kill anybody. What are you talking about?" And I go, "I'm not asking you to see if I get lucky. I know you killed him. What's his name?" And he goes, "I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't kill anybody." I'm like, "Yes, you did." He just like looked at me. He's like, "Really, for reals? I don't know what you're talking about." And I said, "Okay, let me rephrase my question. Who do you feel guilty of killing? Because it's your fault that he died." And he just like looked at me like, "The fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Again, what's his name? Who did you kill?" And he just like kept saying, "Nope, I don't know what you're talking about." And I go, "I'm not asking you just to see it, to see if I hit, like a chord or something. I know you killed him. What's his name? What's the guy that what's his name? What's his name? The guy you killed, the person you killed." And he just like, look, he just kept going like, "I don't know." And I go, "I don't know is not an answer. Remember." And so he's just thinking about it. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, right?" And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just goes boom, and it hits him. And he just looks at me. He's like, "What?" And he just starts. He just lost it. He started crying, and he was like yelling, and just like a holler crying. Like just he couldn't believe it, right? And I left him be for a little bit, and I said, "Okay, tell me your story." And he says, "When I was 5, mind you, think about this. He was 5 years old, okay? When I was 5, um, I was at home and my mom had just left to my aunt's house. And I called her and I told her, 'Mom, come home.' And my mom was just like, 'No, I'm gonna go visit your aunt. I'm almost getting there.' And so he goes, 'Please, Mom, please come back.' And his mom's like, 'No, no, you're there with I left you there with somebody's taking care of you, and um, your brothers are there taking care of you.' And so he's like, 'Please, Mom, please, 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 please come back.' So his mom's like, 'Okay, fine, I'll be right there.' So she turns around, does a U-turn, and on her way back home, she gets in a car accident, and it was really bad car accident, and she loses her 8 month old baby. She was pregnant at the time, and in the accident, she lost her baby. And that was this person's little brother. And when I asked him what was his name, he said, just to say a name, he said Kevin. And I go, "So you've been living with this guilt for your whole life because you put this memory in a drawer and forgot about it." But that's what I'm good at. I'm good at finding all the stuff that's in a drawer or in different drawers or in different places you hide things, in your mind, obviously, in your unconscious memory. And so he's like, "What the hell?" So I did a whole process with him to alleviate the pain and the suffering and the just the guilt that he had and stuff like that, right? And then after we're done with that, I said, "So let's dive into like the deep end of everything." He's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Oh, there's more. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more." And he's like, "Heavier than this?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm, heavier than this." I go, "Now the question is, why were you calling Mom? Why were you so insistent for her to come back home?" And he's like, "I don't know. No, I don't know is not an answer. You need to remember. I'm gonna help you impress buttons, emotional buttons. I'm gonna help you out, but you need to remember. And so he's like, I don't know. Don't stop saying I don't know. Just listen to what I'm saying. Why were you calling mom to come home? To ask her to come home? And he's just thinking and thinking, and all of a sudden he opens his eyes. He's like, oh my God, like what the fuck? And I go, what was going on? He started crying again. He's like, I was being abused sexually. And I said, and that's why you were calling your mom, right? And she's like, yeah. That's why I was so insistent, and I was terrified. I needed my mom to come back to help me with it, to save me from this, right? And I said, the worst part is, who was it? He's just like, I I don't want to say it. And I go, you need to face it so you can heal from it. And he's just like, my older brother. And he started crying again. He's like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, what is this? And I said, so let me break it down for you. So you were being sexually molested at home by your older brother, and you called mom. Mom came back, accident. Your little brother dies. So you live with this guilt your whole life without even being conscious of it, quote unquote. And I said, and that guilt and all that pain and suffering is eating away from the inside out, which is what we call I don't want to say the I don't want to say the really bad word that starts with a C, and ends with an R. And so I said, but that's what it does. It eats away from the inside out and creates that illness that a lot of people die from, you know. And so, but this is all the stuff that you gobbled up and swallowed and supposedly don't remember, but your cell remembers every. I'm here to let you know you definitely remember if you're um, if you if the person that's guiding you, in my case, is picking pushing the right buttons to help you, see all this stuff. And so I said, so going back to the story, I said, so we're gonna work on healing this and healing that, and we started doing all kinds of healing processes so you can relieve all the pain and the guilt that he had from not even acknowledging in it. We went through the whole process of healing and stuff, and I said, that's why you've been living in like throughout your whole life. You thought you didn't deserve to be happy. You thought you didn't deserve to have money or success, because inside of you you were living with guilt, so it didn't allow you to be prosperous in life. So now that you cleanse all this out of your system, you're gonna start living again a whole different page, a whole different, like, your whole life is gonna change for the better. And I'm gonna do a commercial break just to explain something really quickly. I've had people ask me, why would you wake that memory up? Like, why would you have this come out with people? And I tell them, because if you don't release all this internal garbage, the end result is you get C and R it's cancer. I'm just gonna go ahead and bluntly say it. How is cancer? How is that cancer? How do we attract cancer? I'm talking about emotionally, from eating and gobbling up all the crap and feelings from years and years and years and years. So when you find what's hindering you and you release it, you also release the possibility of getting that illness. So it's heavy duty stuff, but I have to have another video because this one's ending. So that's story time for today.